Hello and welcome to Movies on the Side. This is Stephen Robles.
And this is Nate Baranowski.
And you are listening to Movies on the Side in its 5th year of existence. Happy anniversary, Nate. I forget the exact date, but it has been 5 years since we're doing this podcast. Can you believe it? Does it feel like 5 years to you? Actually,
in some ways, yes,
yeah,
it has. But in other ways,
5
years seems like a long time. I'm proud of us for doing this podcast for that long. It feels like in podcast years, that's like 50 years.
At least 50 years.
Times 10.
April 17th, 2018 was our very first episode. The Circle was our first movie. Probably a terrible movie to start out with, but 5 years we've been doing this show. And so we want to let you know, listeners, whether you're listening to us for the first time or you've been listening all 5 years, hey, Cecily, we want to tell you we're going to try something different. We're going to change up just a little bit of how we do MOTS. And so you might see some seasons appear in your podcast player. I'm going to retroactively go back and rearrange our episodes. But we're going to try and do things a little different going forward because we've heard a lot of positive feedback about our bonus episodes. This is not a sales pitch, so don't skip. I'm not trying to say you should sign up at patreon.com/moviesontheside or directly on Apple Podcasts to get a bonus episode whenever we release a new episode because that's the best content. I'm not saying that. I said it, but I'm not saying that.
What are you saying, Stephen?
What I'm saying is people really enjoy our bonus episodes where Nate and I literally shuck and jive about anything. And if you listen to our early episodes, we did shuck and jive for like 20 minutes before we ever talked about a movie. Like
you get one more shuck and jive, and then you can't use the phrase
I can't say it anymore.
That was your last one.
I won't say it again. I won't say it again. That's what we used to do. And then some people were like, you advertise, you review this movie, but you don't really talk about it until like 30 minutes in. And you're like, that's a good point. We call ourselves a movie podcast. So we flipped it around. That's when we created bonus episodes. This is a historiography of MOTS right here. And then we jumped right into the movie. We try to be very straight-laced. We give it a rating, and that's what we did for a long time. But I feel like we
used to do top fives at the end of our movie reviews.
I'd be down for bringing that back. I think that'd be a great thing. People love the top fives. But we want to have some of that kind of, what do you call it? That spontaneity, that I can't say it. Yeah, I mean, you said I can't say it again.
I know you want
I'm not going to say it.
I think we have tried our best to not meander in our topics and go down rabbit holes in our regular episode.
Correct.
But we have heard from our listeners, and our listeners say, hey, we come for the rabbit holes.
Right.
And every once in a while, you guys say something good about the movie. And by the way, we are not movie aficionados. We're just normal guys who love movies.
We are.
So we're going to try our...
We are movie aficionados.
We are.
We're not like film experts. Like, we're not filmography.
That's the same. Yeah,
aficionado is someone that loves the thing. If you're an aficionado of chocolate,
we're not movie files.
We're not thank you. We're not
cinephiles.
We're not cinephiles. We're not cinephiles.
We're not cinebuns.
We just love movies.
Right.
We love movies. But I think we are.
And so our episode name, Movies on the Side, has always been about how we just talk to each other about random things, and the movies happen to be the side dish. So we are returning in this newest season to really making the movies a jumping off point to all sorts of random discussion. So for those who want a review, we're still going to do it, but we are going to be a little bit less linear. And you may be thinking to yourself right now, I never thought you guys were linear. You have always rambled a lot. And true.
Accurate,
but
probably.
Lock in, because things are about to get a little more meandering, and we hope you enjoy the next current season. What season are we in now?
I think we'll make it 5. I mean, it's the 5th year. I'll figure out how to rejigger the episodes. This will be season 5. Yeah, I didn't say the thing again. I said rejigger. That's a different word. Anyway.
Yeah, I love it.
So we'll have a movie that we kind of center around an episode, but we're going to talk about other stuff. And so this week, we're going to tangentially review the Tetris movie, which is an Apple TV Plus original. Just came out this year. You can stream it on Apple TV Plus. It is based on a true story, which is kind of exciting, with Taron Egerton. I really like that guy. I really like that guy and a lot of stuff he does. And I don't know. I feel like we didn't talk about this, but I still want to do the Rotten Tomatoes. Should we still do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So what do you think critics gave Tetris from 2023?
I think critics gave Tetris 82.
Did you know?
Is it 82?
It is 82. This is a sign.
Season 5.
This is a sign that we are doing what we should be doing. Yes, it is an 82 critic score. Audience score is a little higher. Give me the audience score, Nate.
88.
Are you kidding me, Nate? You did not see this before?
You
did not?
No, I did not.
I'm really excited now. That was a lot of fun. You nailed it. You nailed the critic and the audience.
Thank you.
I'm almost sweating. I'm breaking into sweat. Okay, this is amazing. So, Tetris, it was a wonderful movie. It was about the literal video game, like how it was made, apparently in Russia, like all this kind of stuff. But I want to talk about, you have excellent bullet points here. I don't know if we can jump to those right now, but
let's do it.
Let's
go.
Our very first video game memories, which this does trigger that like very old video game nostalgia. And this is where we're going to feel old because I think some of our listeners are probably younger than us. But what was your first video game system / memory? I'm going to go there.
I had an NES very, very young in life.
Yes.
Actually, my neighbor had one first. And by my neighbor, I mean the grandma who lived next door had an NES for when her granddaughter came to visit.
That's dedication.
Cool grandma.
That's dedication right there. Yeah, that's pretty
And I would go over there and play the original side-scrolling Mario whenever the granddaughter was in town visiting. I would go over there and be like, yeah, let's definitely hang out and play. And then we got an NES ourselves. And early memories was original Mario and Duck Hunt. I don't exactly know how a gun was allowed in our home. We were kind of a no guns allowed kind of home, except we had definitely a real gun. I guess because we were shooting ducks, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
but Duck Hunt, putting that gun right up against the screen and dink, 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 dink.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
And so those are my first memories of any video games whatsoever.
That's very good. My first memory of a video game, someone had, maybe it was an Atari or maybe it was an NES, but they had an old Star Wars game. It was like one of the first Star Wars games. And I remember it was like a top-down, the speeder. It was like Luke in the speeder in the desert, and he was like going around. I don't remember the game exactly, but it just totally blew my mind. But my first video game system, like you, was the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, which Nintendo plays a big role in this movie. But I still have it, actually. It's at my mom's house. Still works, mind you. You could actually still play it. My first game.
That's good. You had to blow in the cartridge, figure out the amount of maybe spit that was the perfect amount to come out in the blow as you were
Zero
it.
Was the amount.
There was like, it became superstitious in the point of like, no, you didn't do it right. It's two quick blows.
Yes.
And then like one long one. And then you put it in twice.
So you got to chunk it down,
twice,
chunk it down.
Then
yeah, exactly.
Press the power, kind of toggle it up and down 3 times, and you're ready to go.
Hit reset,
it was also a day where you could put the cartridge into a Game Genie, which for us was like a big pink weird thing that you could like jigger onto it.
Yes. My first game that I owned that was mine was Super Mario Brothers 3. It came with the system and many fond memories of that. So anyway, that was my first
That's
game.
the best one, right?
Yes.
1, 2, and 3. Like 3 is the best
Super
one.
Mario
for sure.
Brothers 3 is the best. And the Mario movie, we need to review very soon. I just want to say that, Nate. Maybe I'll say
the live action one?
Well, live action. I mean,
with Bob Hoskins?
No, not the Dustin Hoffman as Koopa. No, that's terrible. That movie was traumatizing.
No, not Dustin Hoffman.
It was
Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper. That's right. No, it wasn't Rain Man as Koopa.
Not that one.
No, the new cartoon. It's really good. The new animated one. Okay, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do that soon. So that's video games. So Tetris, I remember playing Tetris. I don't remember what I played it on. Because I
felt like it was on a computer at some point in time, like a gateway, like a Dell.
Yes, the gateway.
98 probably had like.
Dude, you're getting a Dell. That's probably where it was, because I never had the original Game Boy, which is what this movie shows Tetris.
Right.
You know, that was the big deal. Was it was one of the first handheld games. I didn't have an original Game Boy. I had a Game Boy.
Did you ever own a Game Boy?
Game Boy
a
Color.
Game Boy Color. Oh. Okay.
For Pokemon. That is what I played with on the Game Boy Color. Did you? Did you have a Game Boy?
I never owned a Game Boy. Again, the neighbors on the other side of the house did own a Game Boy.
Man.
And the Game Boy, we were able to eventually get their Ocarina of Time for the N64 and play that. And we were able to borrow their Game Boy.
Yes, Game Boy was
again like contraband in our home, but the Game Boy, definitely a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah,
that was basically
Pokemon
it.
was the deal.
But you know what I never played on the Game Boy was any Zelda games. I know that was like a big thing on Game Boy. I never played a top-down Zelda.
Wait, did you play Pokemon Red or Blue? Do you remember? Because you know what I'm going to ask you next.
Yeah, Red, I think.
Do you remember which character you chose? Which Pokemon you chose?
I always start with Squirtle. Always.
Squirtle. That's a solid start.
He's the water one, right?
Yeah. I think I usually start with
Squirtle,
Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Charmander. I think I usually start with Charmander. Anyway.
You always go water. That's what I always did. What did you choose?
Charmander. I did the fire. It seemed cool. He turns into like a big lizard dragon.
It's like choosing, you know what? Choosing Charmander is like choosing the red Power Ranger as your favorite. It's like, all right.
Okay,
everyone chose red.
First of all, no.
It's blue. The answer is blue.
No, nothing like
Power Ranger.
You don't even know who the blue Power Ranger is. What's the blue Power Ranger's name? Do you know?
Billy?
No, see that?
Bubba?
You just said you had like a 50% chance of it being Billy, but no, I don't know.
He was like
No.
Who knows? He was kind of
the Green Ranger is all that matters.
Nerdy fellow.
The Green Ranger who then into the white.
It was blue. Anyway. Because here's the thing: if you liked blue, then you could always be the blue one if you're playing Power Rangers outside in the playground. Like the blue one was always available because everyone wanted to be red, and you jump in. And I believe the blue could have like, was it like Triceratops powers?
You don't even know. You don't even know what you're talking about, Nate. No, you don't even know. Anyway,
all
Tetris.
Right. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes.
Which Ninja Turtle?
Now that we're
basically doing a Myers-Briggs over here.
Why has no one made a personality test based on Ninja Turtle?
I'm sure they'd have. 90's kids.
You know, BuzzFeed shut down. BuzzFeed is actually they're closing up shop. They're shuttering the doors. And that's where you would get all these tests of like which Ninja Turtle are you or whatever. Anyway.
Apparently that's not
popular anymore.
Profitable.
Not anymore. Ninja Turtle.
To find out what Disney princess you are.
Now Ninja Turtle, I forgot what princess I came out to be. But anyway, the Ninja Turtles.
Ariel is me.
Do you think I'm Ariel or you're Ariel?
No, I took the test and I'm Ariel.
Oh, you did? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Michelangelo was always the fun one. I feel like Michelangelo was who I went with. I think.
Again, I went Leonardo. Is that the blue again, right?
Yeah. I think it's a blue. I think you got a blue thing. But Leonardo was the lead.
Raphael was the red.
Yeah, Raphael was red. Donatello was purple. Turtles in a half shell. Turtle power. Anyway, okay.
Turtle power.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Tetris. I remember playing a ton of Tetris. I forget where I played it. I don't even know where I played it. But what I found interesting about this movie, because I didn't know the story behind it, this entire movie is like about licensing and who has the rights to things, and it's wild just to watch all of that play out. But Taron Egerton's character, who runs Bulletproof Games, I think is what his company was.
Yeah, that's it.
He's trying to get rights to Tetris for handheld, and then like all this ridiculousness ensues. But basically, he has to fly to Moscow, which at the time where Tetris was developed, it was still like the USSR, like Soviet communist Russia. And
yeah, ELORG was like the state organization that like handled all of their licensing.
Gorbachev was in power. Basically. Yeah. And so Taron Egerton's character has to go there and negotiate for rights and basically risks his life every time he goes over there. But the payoff is if he manages to get rights, he might become a millionaire and he'll have Nintendo on his side. And I feel like the biggest tension of this movie is like, how much risk is too much risk for this to pay off? Like, would you, Nate, have gone to Russia like as many times as he did at risk of getting arrested and thrown into like who knows, like a well?
No, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I think that's a single man's game, and the fact that he has
married with kids,
a family in this movie is like, oh man, I wouldn't.
I mean, I understand, like it,
not for that.
The movie, which I guess the true story, basically like he risked everything. So like he would literally lose everything if this deal fell through. Like no more house, no more business, like zero money.
I do love the conviction of that he played Tetris, and Tetris was around for a while. I mean, the movie kind of shows it too, but it had definitely been like in a lot of different consoles and like different stuff, like Atari stuff before that in arcades. And the fact that he knew it was going to be such a hit.
That's pretty cool.
I've had that feeling every once in a while about something in life that I know that if someone gave me a chance for a specific thing, I knew that it was going to work. And there is something kind of maddening about, I know that if you take a chance on me, this is not like hyperbole, I know that this will work for you. But I can't like prove it to you that it will. But I know it will. And I feel like that was the kind of
that
feeling that Taron Egerton had. It's like this will be the biggest game ever. I know it. And I just need to like do it.
I feel like that attitude though you could also take the path of like Wolf of Wall Street and just like totally go to jail because the thing didn't work.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think
because if you're willing to do anything to like make it happen, then all of a sudden all of your means feel justified by what the ends will be eventually, which is no good.
Right, exactly.
Way to live your life. But it brings me up. It brings this question to my head.
Yes.
Take jail off the table for a second. If I told you, Steven, I can give you $2 million at the end of a job.
Right.
But you have to leave your family and let's say go to another country.
Sure.
How long, what is the maximum that you say, like, you're going to come home with $2 million. We'll take personal safety off the table.
Right.
How long are you willing to be away from your family for $2 million?
Nate, I feel like this is a punji trap that you have set in the middle of the forest. Like,
okay, I'm gonna throw out numbers.
I was gonna say a year. I was gonna say a year.
You don't want to be the first one.
I was just gonna say a year. Like as you were saying it, I felt like a year.
You felt a year
is a very long time. Like that is a significant portion of a child's life to miss. Like
what if I told you 3? What if I told you 3 years? Can I convince you 3 years? You come back with $2 million, not to be taxed. $2 million to use. 3 years, no seeing your family.
I would counter and be like,
let's say that
can I do 1 year for $1 million? That would be my counter. I feel like anything
you can do 1 year for $750,000.
I feel like any longer than a year, you're now missing multiples of every big event. Like you're missing multiple birthdays, you're missing multiple holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything more than a year is worth it. And I also feel like
and if I increase the money, that doesn't change the calculus. If I said 2 years, 10 million?
No, I mean it would have to get into like the billions to maybe even move the needle. But even then, it's like I feel like I know for me personally, I could also work 24/7 for a year straight and probably make a good amount of money, and I could still be like home, and like my family could still like see that I exist. And so I feel like there's a threshold of how much the money is given to me versus like, I mean, I don't think I could earn $1 million in a year, but I could probably earn enough where it is like, if I wanted to make the sacrifice, I would make it personally here working at home than like sitting else somewhere.
Right.
But what is for you? What's your number?
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of at because I've had a few offers in my life.
Oh, this is
to work for like
humble brag.
3 months overseas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not like no.
You're
like
I know you're getting flown all around the world because you do fancy 3D art. That's fine. No. Go ahead.
But if I've been offered like, would you be able to be here for 4 months?
Wow.
And you're making like what you would make in a year and a half, let's say, worth of monies. So you start thinking like, oh, what?
Considering we've never had
no to all of them.
I was going to say, considering we haven't had a 4-month break of this podcast ever, I don't assume you took those.
You know that I'm right. Exactly.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And I think for the most part, I have a really young child.
Right.
And so
you would
it
miss
does
a lot.
feel like
you miss a
lot.
You would miss a lot.
I feel like I'm probably
he would be like, who are you when you
months.
came back?
I think I'm at like 6 months maximum.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a 6-month stint that produces like
a lot.
$500,000.
Like I could not work
we're talking,
for several years or maybe ever again.
It's got to be right. But then here's the problem. I wouldn't want to not work for several years, and I don't think you can really balance I'm gone for 4 months and then I'm super around, because overall, like 8 months later, I'd be excited to work again.
Sure.
But it's not like I can. So I think for me, tough. I think it's 6 months is my like magic, like be away for that long. But even that would be tough.
I mean, even just,
and I would need to have support from everyone in my life.
Oh, it's got to be unanimous.
If one person, if Stephen Robles said to me, Nate, I don't think you should do it, I'd be like, yep, okay.
Not doing
right.
it. Yeah, not doing
You're
it.
Right.
Yeah. No, that is true. You would need unanimity, because whoever doesn't give it is not going to be happy with you at the end of that year or even the 6 months or whatever. So,
right. Yeah. It better be like across the board, and it better be like absolute. My wife better be like over the moon. This is happening.
Like kicking you out the door. Like she needs to be like packing the bag for you to go.
Right.
Just,
Exactly.
But even like Taron Egerton in this movie, even as he's in Moscow and all these different times, I think all he missed, quote unquote, was like one daughter's concert. But even that felt like super monumental. Like that felt like, There was
a big scene in this where she was like, I wanted to make a better life for us or something. And she's like, we had a life. And that was just like the coldest but truest, like, we didn't ask for this. Which I think would be the same in my life if I was like, I want $2 million. And then, Jill would remind me, hey, we have it good. We don't need this.
Right. Yeah.
Which is, I think, hopefully you would remind me of that too. And I would not let you leave your family for 3 years.
No, yeah, same. No, that's too long.
I wouldn't do it.
I do.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I do want to say the one character I love in this movie, Alexei, who actually plays the character who created Tetris. So good. The fact, like in USSR, like Soviet Russia, he couldn't have like graphical images for the Tetris pieces, so he used parentheses shaped like the different blocks.
So good.
Brilliant.
So good.
I love that scene. And the fact that Taron Egerton's character, I forget the guy's name in real life, Hank Rogers, is the one who actually, eventually he did get the licensing and all that, but he actually flies Alexei and his family to the States to then join him, and finally like gives them some credit, because in Russia, Alexei would have received nothing for making this game. Like in communism.
Did you then do your research after this movie? Because I then looked down, like they eventually, Hank Rogers and Alexei go into business together, running like the Tetris company or whatever. They end up buying the rights from Elorg like later on, like as soon as that period runs out, and go on to
loved all
there
of
was
that.
like a new like Tetris game that came out really recently. Like they are still making sweet Tetris things.
It's like a whole dynasty now, which is amazing how one brilliant idea like that. And then also that the business guys, the dad and the son, who were always just like the snivelly thing, like they in real life also went bankrupt because of all like the dirty dealings they did.
Those two characters were maybe some of my favorite, like
they were good characters.
Snivelly characters, but they're dynamic with each other.
So
it was
good.
Also like so good. Okay, but back to Tetris for a second. Like 1 to 10, the game Tetris. Like do you like it? Would you like right now, after we record, a new Tetris is on your computer. How long do you play it before you're like, that was good?
Probably like 5 minutes, unless there was a group of friends, or maybe my family is like, we're all trying to compete to see the highest score.
You get some top scores.
Some top scores.
Yes.
Or like Jordan downloaded like this IQ app the other day, and so like I did it, my wife did it. I don't want to talk about the time me, you, and Jacob did an IQ test. I want a rematch of that. We're not talking about that. But I feel like if there was that kind of like friendly competition, which I think part of the movie, the genius is like the Game Boy. I love the sales pitch that Taron Egerton makes Nintendo. It's like, if you want this Game Boy to be popular for kids, ship it with Mario. If you want it to be popular for everyone of any age, give them Tetris. And I think there was some truth to that. I feel like Tetris, especially at that time where there wasn't other games, like I feel like it could appeal to an adult and kid audience, high scores, a lot. So
it had to walk so Candy Crush could soar at the end of it for everyone.
The fact that Candy Crush,
real back.
Okay.
Nintendo that made Dr. Mario.
Yes.
Dr. Mario is basically competitive Tetris. Like, right? Isn't it like side-by-side Tetris? You got the different colored pills. You're stacking them up. You're trying to clear viruses and pills. I'm just saying, Nintendo did something that wasn't Tetris, but it kind of used the same setup.
I mean, that's
right?
Yeah.
They slapped Mario onto it.
That's like the slippery laws of...
Where's that movie? That's Tetris 2?
Tetris 2, Dr. Mario's Revenge.
Basically, the Tetris company now, and for the last 20 years, has probably just been spending their time like cutting off the weeds of off-brand Tetris games that spring up on the App Store. You're like, nope, you're Tetris. Nope,
the story
you're
of
Tetris with fruit.
The story of Tetris for the last 25 years has probably just been like court cases, like Tetris going with different companies to court. Like, this is Tetris, that's Tetris. But
all right, last Tetris question for you. The shapes of Tetris. Yeah. Do you have a favorite shape? Because I'm going to start. I'm going to tell you my favorite shape. Okay, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
My favorite shape is the T. The T tetromino.
Yeah, the T is very good.
The T can fit flat side down with a little nub coming up, so it can fit on a nice flat floor, which fits nicely with all your little S's and L's kind of around it. Or you can kind of drop it down next to kind of a wonky edge and pop it in there on the side. The T seems versatile. It's got the flat edge. It's got the and also if you had a little nook you're trying to fill, a little cranny, you just pop that thing T side down, and all of a sudden you got a beautiful row. So the T is my favorite. Tetromino is what they're called, I guess. The T tetromino.
I do think the T is the most superior shape, as you have said. But I will say there is no more satisfying piece than getting that single line straight down where you can clear. It's the only shape where you could clear 4 rows simultaneously. It's the only shape that can do that. So I will admit T is superior as far as utility, but the straight line is very satisfying. Clearing 4 lines at a time. I'm just saying. So
it's very good. I mean, what you learn as a kid and what I learned as a kid, and I hope everyone learns at some point in time, is that just because you can clear a row now, you should wait. Delayed gratification in order to wait for the vertical piece, even if you risk a little bit more, risk it filling up a little bit too high,
you created the space
just for the satisfaction of those 4 rows. There's something there that we all should learn, which is take risk and build a tower of...
I really thought you were going to nail this. I really thought you were going to nail the landing on that. I fell off. No, it was
my
good.
Tower filled up and I lost the level.
Yeah, too many spaces in there. I know. I did delayed.
A lot of delayed. It's like Swiss cheese.
Delayed gratification, allowing for a little risk, and you could reap the benefits. Anyway, I was going to say that was going to be a great TED talk, but then you kind of fumbled the landing. But anyway, it was still good.
Talk.
It was still good. We do have to talk about best mustache in a movie. I feel like this is an important topic. Now, I need to look up some of these. I know Sam Elliott, Henry Cavill.
I mean, we all know Sam Elliott's mustache.
Henry Cavill's mustache in Mission Impossible Fallout, which is an incredible mustache. Dustin Hoffman.
Which has its detractors as well. That mustache, the Henry Cavill mustache, also caused the Superman VFX blunder of Justice League.
That's not part of the judging. I mean, you have to judge the Mission Impossible stash in a vacuum.
Can I say that I feel like mustaches are back?
Are they back?
Are they back?
I don't know.
Welcome to Movies on the Side, where we talk about fashion and trends. Now, what I'm saying here is that currently male shorts are shorter than ever, but the mustaches, I think, as long as you have the 5 o'clock shadow below it, I think the mustache is back.
I think so.
Not too long. Not Sam Elliott. Not Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York.
Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm looking at his mustache right now. It's not as crisp, as neat as I would want.
Yeah,
it's a little messy.
Character is so scarily unhinged.
I've never seen Gangs of New York.
In his role. Oh,
that's the problem.
Oh, you have to.
That's the problem. I've never seen it. Okay.
He's gnarly. He's gnarly like his mustache.
Okay. Well, I saw.
You've seen Ted Lasso. You've seen Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso's got a good mustache. That's a good mustache. I need to see Sam Elliott one more time before I will say Taron Egerton in this movie has a very good mustache. It's a very good mustache.
I mean, Dustin Hoffman
Sam
in
Elliott.
Hook had a mustache that was so good that there starts a scene with the camera on him combing his mustache.
Now, why is Tom
That's how much of a
Selleck
character
not
it
in
was.
your list? That's my question.
I feel like Tom Selleck. Well, I guess that's the same for Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
The mustache is part of the person, and I feel like they're just bringing it into the movie.
Oh, I see.
It's like not a
It's not-
character
it's not-
choice.
it's not for
it's
the-
just
yeah.
like there.
I mean, Tom Selleck's a good mouse. Actually, I wouldn't choose Tom Selleck even if he was in this list. I'll be honest. I think you have a good list here.
It's fine, but it was at a time where I feel like we all had mustaches. And by we, I mean people in the 80s.
Okay, sure. I'm going to say,
Not my 2-year-old self.
if I'm choosing subjectively,
Best movie mustache, go.
Henry Cavill, Mission Impossible Fallout. I feel like that the fact that it caused such a VFX problem for Justice League is proof that that mustache is unbeatable. Not even the likes of CG from the DC universe could cover that mustache. I feel like it's solid. Solid mustache.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I'm going to look at it one
I
more time.
don't feel like I see the mustache used as
Used.
to enhance the look of a character versus it sometimes is shorthand for like evil character
Right,
or
right. Like Hook.
villainous character. The
I mean, a
mustache,
handlebar
Hook.
mustache is evil, just inherently, I think.
Oh, okay. Just
I
as
think.
like full.
I mean,
yeah.
look, I mean, Hook.
Think the guy from Moulin Rouge,
Was that guy?
the main owner guy.
Oh, yeah.
He had a mustache. didn't he?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm going to go Sam Elliott. I think
good
he's the king of
mustache.
mustaches. I think he was in Tombstone.
I think so.
All
He's
Western,
in every
like
Western, I
a
think.
Western,
yeah.
he's in all. Of
He's
them.
a-
I think he has to be contractually.
Contractually. He ain't Clint
But I
Eastwood.
think it's either him or Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York, and I think I'm going to go with Sam Elliott just because. But like I said before, that mustache is Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Sam Elliott without a mustache? Does he?
I don't
have
think
an
it's. I
upper
don't think
lip?
that's possible.
No one
I
knows.
don't think it's possible. I think it's like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. He shaves it, grows back immediately. That's it.
All right, I'll
you
go
this.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm gonna send you this
Daniel
picture,
Day-Lewis, followed up by Ted Lasso.
I'm gonna send you this picture of Henry Cavill though in Mission Impossible. I mean, this mustache is like thick, 3 C's. You know what I'm saying?
But
like
the mustache wasn't the star. It was him cocking his fists. Oh, that's a good mustache.
see, he just got the picture. It's a good mustache. I'm just saying. That is like.
Good
He also
mustache.
has like the, like the Tom Selleck mustache. Like goes up in the middle. Henry Cavill somehow he's got just like this. It's like straight like a chunk. It's just I don't know.
Like, yeah, people don't always get good growth right in
The middle.
there.
The middle is the hard part. Henry Cavill.
The middle is a tough place.
Yeah,
I do have to
same.
say,
Hmm?
maybe I'll grow a mustache. It's maybe in my life. Growing up, my dad had a mustache.
Yeah, so did mine. Yeah. Now don't. I mean, you've
So
had
I feel
beards with that included a mustache.
Yeah, but that's the whole package.
So
I
you
feel
just
like you
wanna go
can't just be
you
like,
wanna be-
I've had I mean, technically, you have a mustache right now.
Yeah, but it's a beard.
But when I look at you, take your hand and cover the beard.
How's that?
Oh, that's good. That's good. We'll clip this right out for social media.
YouTube.com/
I think that's a good-
YouTube.com/ @movies on the side. Hold on. So you can see I'm covering my beard now. How does that look?
It looks pretty good.
You
This
should-
is not going to make for good podcasting, but it's going to make
It's great video.
for
It's
a
great.
good little
Yeah.
video.
No, you should
How
do
do you
a
think
mustache.
I look in a mustache? Look,
Yeah, I think.
is it too light?
Well, I don't know. How thick does it get? Does it get does it fill out?
A little thicker. Yeah. But it doesn't get any darker.
Well, but that might be okay.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I think you should try it. Try it.
Okay.
Grow the mustache. Let's do it. All right. So let's still rate this movie. Let's still rate Tetris on a scale of 0 to 5 tetraegons or whatever they are. The
Tetrominoes.
tetrominoes. 0 to 5 tetrominoes. I will. I'm gonna give this movie a solid 4. I think it was a very good movie. I think it was a good story.
Yes.
I like the fact that it was a true story.
Yes.
Eventually, I do want to talk about our favorite true story movies. I did a whole list down here
Yes.
of like true story
Yes.
movies. We should talk about that
Yes, I'm
sometime.
ready.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it 4 tetradominoes. I forgot the name already again. Sorry.
Tetrominoes.
Yeah, those. I'll give it a 4. What do you think?
You know what? I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Oh shoot!
And
Higher.
Here's why. Yeah, higher.
Okay.
Movies that make me care about the characters.
Yeah.
That's like 90% of the battle of a movie. And I cared about Hank Rogers.
Yes.
And I cared about those two guys from Nintendo for whatever reason.
I like those guys.
I cared about the relationship between the bad son and the bad father.
I liked
I cared about that guy at Elord who works for the government who like helps out Hank Rogers. I was worried about Alexi's family getting out of Russia.
Yeah, so was I.
And I was rooting for them, and I was worried. There are people I didn't care about that much, but if you make me care about the characters and give me enough suspense, like I don't know if that's just there has been like a lack of it recently, but I felt like this felt important to me while watching it, and I cared about their safety.
Yeah.
Now, my one knock on this movie is that I do feel like the relationships with his wife and his daughter, while serving up a good moment at the end, felt like it didn't quite belong in this movie. He has a moment where he's blackmailed, and that's brushed under the rug.
That is true. I was waiting for that to come back. Yeah. I thought that was going to be a big deal.
It's also a scene where, I mean, like, his wife is part of the company with him, and either make her a part of the movie, and there's like she's doing stuff back home,
right?
Or like take it out of the movie. But I felt like maybe it's the editing or whatever. The family dynamics were interesting, but not enough to make sense in the movie, but too little to be like really impactful. Like when he finally comes back and watches the concert, his daughter is nice, and she eventually becomes the CEO of the Tetris. So I understand like the connection there,
right?
But it didn't quite land because I kept going like these motivations don't quite make sense. Either she's in on this or he's not, or whatever.
Yeah, I get it. I will say though, that last scene where they were racing to the airport and like racing onto the plane lest they be captured by like the Russian police.
That's good.
It was pretty amazing. And the fact that they got on not the very next flight out, but like the second flight out just to like throw them off, that was pretty good. I like that.
A real taste of what flight used to look like pre-2001.
That is true. Well, listeners, let us know what you think of our modified format of MOTS. You can go on our Instagram. It's @moviesontheside there. You could also watch this episode on YouTube, youtube.com/@moviesontheside. And let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And
are we going to do some true story movies? Are we doing that?
I mean, maybe we could review another true story movie and then talk about the list. I mean,
oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Very good.
Because I got a long list. I got a long list here.
All right, cut this out.
No.
We don't need to talk about this now.
It's a teaser. We're going to do true stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the future. Yeah, for the future.
For sure.
For the future. All right, as we always say.
Welcome to season 4 of MOTS. It's actually season 5, season 4, part 2. Season 5.
No, I'm cutting all that out.
Welcome to season 5 of MOTS. We're happy to have you here. I don't have a quote pulled up right now, but I'm so excited you're with us today.
I can't believe
and
this.
If you want to,
I cannot believe this.
Give to the whales and or the otters.
What are you talking about?
And or be kind and gentle to those you love. And remember, with an open heart and an open smile, you can let life in through the peepholes of your brain.
I played Tetris for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. I pulled it perfect. I'm going to play your thing.
Do you know that's called the Tetris effect? That's called the Tetris effect, is when you close your eyes and you can still see the game happening. Yeah. Named after the...
I'm going to put what you said after the music and just slowly fade it out.
Yes, perfect.